What is up, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day. With Jagged Alliance 3 coming out recently and actually being way better than anticipated, and definitely, being like the originals. It's not perfect, but it's got a very good feel, very good combat. The dialogue's good, everything's great. And there's a lot of new people that are playing it. And I figured I would do some quick tips for new players, just 3 of them, to help you in the combat, because the AI is pretty competent, and if you don't know what you're doing or you're making mistakes you don't know you're making, you can make the game pretty hard for yourself. So, like I said, I just want to do 3 tips. Not going to be too long of a video here, just a couple things to help people out. So, first one I got is you definitely want to try to open every battle you can with a sneak attack. Now, you might think, well, does that really matter? Because I'll just, we'll get in the battle and then I'll just do my thing. Well, it does matter, because there's a couple things you gain from a sneak attack. Not only do you get a free hit on an enemy, and, picking the right person to do that shot is pretty important, because you want to make sure, first of all, they can hit. What good is a sneak attack if you miss and then alert the enemy? But sometimes there'll be barrels or other explosives you can use to do some massive damage. But the main reason is to get your guys into position too. So when you see a battle, when you see there's enemy, you want to look around for cover, because that's where the battle's going to take place. And one thing you can do is, with your people hidden, you can set them into different vantage points and different, areas to cover a wide range or get into position to do things. And then once everybody's in position, you can pick one of them to do the attack. And this will not only give you, positional advantage, it'll also allow you to set up for flanking and other things. Do keep in mind the enemy will move once they're shot. They will move into cover too, so they could move near your guys or in a position that might not be favorable. But sneaking up and initiating the battle with everything prepared for you is a very good tactic and very helpful, because you don't gotta waste turns in game. Now, another one that is highly important is positioning, as in where you got your characters on the field, which kind of ties into the first one for like the setup. But this is making sure people are crouched or prone. The worst thing you can do is be standing. When you stand, you have that much more of a hit area for the enemy. It's easier to get certain shots in, and it can be a detriment to your guy's survival. It don't take too many hits to knock a guy out. You figure 3, 4, 5 hits, you're down. So, and some of the automatic weapons or the heavier hitting weapons can really, knock you out pretty quickly. I would say get everybody crouched at all times, even if they're not behind cover. And if they're out in the open, maybe going prone would be ideal for being very hard to hit. Then again, it's going to limit your ability to hit. But at the same time, if you do have to be out in the open, prone might work pretty well. If you're on the edge of cover, prone can work. So you got to kind of feel it out, but definitely don't be standing, and make sure you're always behind some type of cover. Don't be in the open, and make sure the cover isn't going to blow up. Jeeps, barrels, vehicles, certain things, when they take so much damage, they will detonate, and they can do AoE damage to anybody around them. So if you got a lot of your guys clustered up by a Jeep and the enemy shoots it, well, that's not good. That's not good. So, third tip. This one's probably a no-brainer, but it does help if you don't realize how it works. The aiming system in the game. So when you target an enemy, there is a little circle that appears over them. And that little circle, if you increase aim, it'll get smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, the circle does start out smaller based on your ability to aim and all that. So that's very useful. But don't be afraid if you have 9 AP and it costs 7 AP to attack. Just use the other 2 AP to aim. Because the aiming, you're not going to do anything with that 2 or 3 extra AP. You can't shoot again. You can't fire. So just go for the torso, zoom in, get the circle as pretty much body tight as you can, and go for the shot. Because your AP is wasted otherwise. It doesn't really carry over to the next turn. So if you have like 2 to 3 left or 1... just dump it into an aim, make your life easier, and, you'll never know the difference. Now, I do have a little bonus tip, the last one here. Overwatch. It is very powerful in this game. If you don't have a clear shot, you're worried about the enemy moving, you're worried about the enemy moving in to shoot you, definitely set up Overwatch. Because at the end of the day, if you're not going to do nothing on your turn and you have AP left to use, it's better to have that than to have nothing, because it gives you the protection of, cross lanes, crossfire, and it's actually pretty powerful. It has some power. You don't need to aim for Overwatch, you know, it just kind of takes a shot, and you can catch a lot of the enemy out. So definitely use Overwatch, and I guess use your abilities too. Don't forget like run and gun and move and shoot. Make sure you're using those, because those can be very vital to get to not only move but do damage. A lot of times you'll be like, well, I can move but I have no AP to do anything. Well, you might have run and shoot or run and gun, and you can move and shoot and at least try to do damage, because like that's better than just moving and doing nothing. So hopefully these tips help people out. I know they're not the most in-depth, insane tips, you know, and they're not like, you know, top tier pro advice, but if you're new and you're struggling with the game, or you want a little bit of an advantage, these should help you out, and these should give you a good idea of what's going on. So if you got any questions or comments about the game, please drop them down below. I do try to read and respond to every comment and help others out, so you know that's always a thing. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, later guys, peace out, have a good one.